All right. Good afternoon. I'm so glad to see all of you and also to see all of you who are watching with us online. My name is Sherye, and I'm the coordinator of the Southern Christian Writers Conference. And I know all of you in here, I believe, except for guests that I've gotten a chance to meet. But I know all of you through the Southern Christian Writers Conference. And I know most of you have been to events connected to the conference. And so we are so appreciative of y'all's support for us and the encouragement we get from all of you. As the coordinator of the SCWC, my primary goal, and this is something that stems from my parents who were the founders of the SCWC, Joanne and David Sloan, they're here. If y'all haven't met them already, make sure that y'all talk to them. And so Mom and Dad have welcomed us into their home to be able to do this, but something that they always made a point of with the SCWC, and something that I stress as the coordinator and our staff coordinates, that our staff really stresses, is that we want to encourage our authors, okay? Whether they are novelists or book authors like y'all are, or devotional writers like y'all are, or if they are poets or bloggers or magazine article writers, whatever sort of writers they are, we want to encourage them. And so we are strong believers in equipping our writers and our members with quality information that's going to help them be better writers, but also encouraging them. And so we started the Notable Book Awards in 2018 with this idea that we wanted to recognize members of the SCWC. We want to recognize book authors in particular and recognize them for outstanding work that they have created in different categories of books. And so we have done that now for those number of years. And for the last 2 years, well, this is the second year, we have met at Mom and Dad's house, and that's what we're going to be doing from now on. And it's kind of casual, but it's a great way for us to visit with each other and get to know each other. And so we are just so excited to celebrate all of you. So I'm going to begin this conversation with you as I go to talk about the books that were actually nominated and that are finalists. I want to tell all of you that if you are a finalist, it's a wonderful honor. Okay, there were many books submitted, and so I, as an encourager, also always like to tell people, if you do not win, that is nothing to be upset about, right? That is acknowledgement that you published, that you went after your goals and you actually published. I say, if you didn't go for it, you never would even have a book that could be considered for an award, correct? So we first think it's a great accomplishment that you even wrote a book. Second of all, it's a great accomplishment that you wrote a book and then it was chosen as a finalist amongst the many books that we received. And then to win is just, it's kind of like icing on the cupcake. That's what I would say. So we just want to say congratulations to all of you for the excellent work that y'all did. The books that we received this year were, I thought, wonderful because they really ran the gamut of style and content and topics and production value and everything, design. It was it was a really neat group of books. And our judges, I think, they told me things like that, that there were so many different types of books that were submitted, but they were all such quality books. So that being said, I'm going to go on into the categories. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to just announce the finalists first for each of the categories in alphabetical order. I'm going to announce the winner. And then I also want, if you are here and you're one of the finalists, I want you to be able to come up and I want to get a picture of everybody who is here. Last year, I tried to get pictures and I think people were starting to disperse. So I want to do it while we can, okay, while we are here together. So I will announce the winner. And if you are here, you will get a certificate and a small prize. And if you are a finalist and you're here, we want to get a picture of everybody. Okay, so we are going to start with the devotional category. And our finalists in the devotional category are, I'm going to show each of them, Out of My Mind, Into His Heart by Karen Allen and Sharon Atwood, and they are here. If y'all just want to wave your hands so we can, And the tagline for this is 60 devotions for those with mental illness and their advocates. Okay, and I highly recommend each of these. Legacy Blessings. This is Devotions for Your Spirit by Laura S. Clark. She is not with us today. We have 40 Days of Spiritual Growth by Gary Hardin, and Gary is with us right here. And these are daily devotions from the farewell words in Paul's letters. And then our last one, and our children's and our devotionals were very large submission pools. And so generally we pick only 3 finalists, but we stretched it to 4 because there were so many good ones. I mean, there were really probably 5 or 6 more in each category we would have liked to have recommended. And then the last finalist is Carline Mom by Caris Snider. And this is 100 Days of Encouragement for the Mama Who Gets Everybody Everywhere. Okay? And so the winner in the devotional category is Caris Snider for Carline Mom's devotional. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I would though like, Gary is here, and also Karen and Sharon are here. So if y'all will come up and grab your book, and I want to take a picture of y'all with together as our finalists in these categories. Okay, so y'all can hold that one, and Gary, you can hold that one. And if y'all don't mind me getting in here with y'all, we'll get a picture with you, and y'all hold up the book so we can see them. 1, 2. Well, a little more. So congratulations to our finalists and our winner. Thank you. And Gary, I'm going to put this back here. And I want to make sure after this that y'all all come up and take a look at all of our finalists and our winners. Okay. Okay, let's move to children's. So our books, this is actually children's and YA. We combined those together. So we had books that were submitted that were children's books, middle grade novels, YA, young adult novels. Even one of these is a devotional book for children. So a lot of different, really different content, storybooks, novels that are in children's up to young adult. Okay, and so our finalists in that category are Love Connects Us All by Michelle Adams, Fingerprint Devotions by Sandra Chambers, The Secret of the 7 Rubies by Jairus Ham. Jairus is here with us, yes. And Little Miss Linda, Bad Girls of Montgomery by Linda Holloway, who is also here. So congratulations to all of our finalists. And our winner, I love it, Linda is giving us the drum roll. The winner in our children's category, children's and YA category, is Love Connects Us All by Michelle Adams. Congratulations, Michelle. Again, Jairus and Linda are both here, so if you will please come up, I want to make sure that we get, y'all, I'm going to brag on this children's section, just wonderful children's books, and I would highly recommend y'all check out, especially, Michelle's, of course, but Jairus and Linda who are here with us, just wonderful. So Linda and Jairus, and let's get a picture, Scout, of our finalists here. Yeah, maybe you should stay there. Do I need to be in there or not? Okay. Great. Congratulations to our finalists and our winner. Awesome. Okay. Hey, Jairus, I'm going to steal your book back so people can still look at it. Y'all, the design of our children's books, wonderful too. Okay. All right. Next up, we have, so in fiction and nonfiction, we have self-published and traditionally published categories because we really believe that there can be quality books in both of those types of avenues for publishing. Y'all know it used to be a day when the good books were only like traditionally published, right? Now there's so many great ways to publish yourself, or if you have a niche book that you need to be self-published. So we do not discriminate. We love both of those options. But with fiction and nonfiction, we like to break it up into those 2 categories, again, because of the number of submissions that we like to be able to recognize them that way. So I'm going to do self-published nonfiction first. And our finalists in this area are Youth Group Theology, Responses to 50 of Teenagers' Most Asked Questions. And this is by Haley Collins. And then we have Mission Vigilant, A Mother's Guide Crusade to Stem the Tide of Veteran Suicide by Susan Cleland with Sherye Green. And Susan and Sherye are here with us today. And then Come In, Lord, Please Excuse the Mess, Spiritual Healing and Recovery from Clutter Bondage by Cassandra Tiersma. Don't y'all love the variety of topics? Yes, so wonderful. Okay, so the winner in our self-published nonfiction category is Mission Vigilant by Susan, Cleland, and Sherye Green. And they're here with us. Yay! And I've got y'all both a frameable certificate that y'all can hold. And for you as well. Okay, and let's get Scout to get a picture of us. And I think those are the only people with us today. Yes, please get the book. Y'all, this book is wonderful, filled with all kinds of wonderful inspiration and information. Thank y'all. Congratulations. All right. Okay, next up we have traditionally published nonfiction, and our finalists are Taking Care of Business, Live by Faith, Lead with Courage by Dr. Jean Allen, The 5-Minute Prayer Plan for When Life is Overwhelming by Linda Lyle, and Healed, How God Took Me from Planning My Funeral to Planning My Future by Gayle Taylor. And I don't think none of our finalists are here with us for that category, but our winner in traditionally published nonfiction is Gayle Taylor for Healed. So congratulations, Gayle, and all of our finalists in that category. Okay, next we're going to go to fiction, and fiction is our final category. And again, we have both traditionally self-published and traditionally published fiction. And in the self-published category, we have The Persistent Road by Tim Bishop. Now, I know fiction is hard. You can kind of get an idea from the titles and the nonfiction what they're about. And so it's a little bit harder with the fiction to do that. But I would encourage you to go look up each of these books because they're all just wonderful. The second one in the category is The Other Place by June Chapko. And then also in self-published is Beyond Juarez by Marion Searles. And the winner in that category is Tim Bishop for The Persistent Road. Congratulations, Tim, and the other finalists. And again, none of them are here as well. And we hate that not everybody could be here, but I don't know if we could fit them all, right? We'd find a way. That's right. Okay, and then our final category is traditionally published fiction, and our finalists for that category are The Fourth River by Teresa M. Bruce, Landing on Her Feet by Kim Ligon. Kim is with us in the back. And Rescuing Rose by Susan Pope Sloan. And no relation that we know of. No relation that we know. So there is no nepotism, okay? And the winner is Susan Sloan for Rescuing Rose. Kim, if you'll come up, I want to get a picture of you as one of our finalists here. Y'all, Kim's book is fabulous too. It's a romance suspense. Very, very good. And so I recommend that one for y'all as well. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much. Congratulations to all of the finalists and the winners who are watching this, perhaps, that we would love to see your book next year in the SCWC Notable Book Awards. We would love to have it submitted, but to get to that point, you got to write. Okay. So I want to encourage you this year to go after those writing plans, those writing dreams. And if you have a book inside of you that you feel called to write, know that with God's help, with prayerful decision making, with community around you of faithful writers, of friends and family who can support you, or even if they're not recording you sometimes. Sometimes they don't understand, but you can do it, okay? And maybe 2024 will be that year that you can do that. So we would love to see all of your books next year in the competition. And again, congratulations to all of you. It was a wonderful, I believe, accomplishment to make it to the finals. And so we wish we could honor everybody, but we're so pleased that we're able to honor those that we honored and also recognize the rest of you as well. So for those of you watching online, stay tuned. We're going to have some interviews with our authors, and I look forward to talking to them about their books. And we will see you hopefully soon at one of our SCWC events. Let me do one little plug real quick. Our annual conference is June 7th and 8th this summer in Birmingham, Alabama. And so a lot of you have been before, but we hope y'all can join us again this year, and just be looking out for news about that on all of our social media outlets and through our emails and all that good stuff. So again, thank you for being with us today, and congratulations again. Hello, and we are here with Jaris Ham, and Jaris is one of our finalists in the SCWC Notable Book Awards, and her book, The Secret of the Seven Rubies, was one of our finalists in the Children's and YA category. And Jaris is from Spring Hill, Tennessee, and she's going to tell us just a little bit about her book.
Okay, this is a book for junior high kids, especially kids that play sports or active in school. They have a lot of pressure on them, though. You know, there's a lot of pressure these days on kids to excel in school. They don't have a lot of time. They're active in sports. So the main character, the first thing he wants to do is win a basketball championship. And of course, in the midst of his ordinary day, he has an extraordinary visitor who challenges him to seek 7 rubies. And he uses the wisdom of the rubies to rescue his friends from a video game that's actually hypnotizing, and also save his grandfather's life, actually. So,
awesome. I love that. That's such a unique concept. Where did the idea come from?
Well, I guess because 2 of my kids were in junior high championships, went through junior high sports and also high school with all my kids. So I had that sports background already going.
I love that.
And of course, I love the C.S. Lewis books, all the Narnia books. And so that probably influenced some of my writing.
I feel like so many Christian writers who write like fantasy or you know, time travel, all those sorts of things, a lot of it goes back to C.S. Lewis.
So it all comes through that grounding of C.S. Lewis and how that resonates with young readers. You
Absolutely. Well, it's just a wonderful book. We loved considering it, and it was so hard to pick our winners because there were so many really deserving ones. And also, I just love the cover on this.
I have a great artist. Your
artist
Dorman.
is just amazing. Yeah, just beautiful.
He did an awesome job.
So we encourage all of you to go check out The Secret of the 7 Rubies. Is Amazon or your website? Would that be a better location?
My website, jarisham.com. Also Amazon. And also I'd like you go to your local Christian bookstore and support them.
Awesome. That's great.
And any bookstore can order it through Ingram.
Perfect. Awesome. That's great.
So that's great.
Well, thank you, Jaris.
It's nice being here, Cheryl.
Yes, it's great to see you again. Thank you. We're here with Linda Holloway. She is the author of Little Miss Linda, Bad Girls of Montgomery. And it was one of the finalists in our Children's and YA category of the SCWC Notable Book Awards this year. And so we're excited to talk to Linda for a minute. Tell us a little bit about what this book is about.
But before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much for having this award ceremony. I also want to thank the judges because I know it was a very challenging situation. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
The book is really it's about a little girl who's from Mound Bayou, Mississippi. Her name is Little Miss Linda. And this is the first year the school is having a class on social justice. But they have a teacher, Elena, who decided she wants to take them on a road trip. But it's just not any old road trip. This is a trip to Montgomery, Alabama. So she wanted them to learn about the history of Montgomery, Alabama. But she also wanted them to have a project to do. So Little Miss Linda was so fascinated by the women who had taken place, who played a role, should I say, in the Montgomery bus boycott movement. So the word bad actually stands for bold and determined. So she wanted to highlight those women, and that was the name of her project. So that's what the book is about.
I just think this kind of book is so important right now. The focus on social justice, and for us to remember the women who came before us who really taught us so much about civil rights, and so important for children to hear those stories. And I love this book because it's a real great mix of information. Like, they learn a lot from this book, but it's also really engaging with Little Miss Linda. So is Little Miss Linda you?
It's my inner voice.
Okay.
There are certain elements about the story that is true, but it is not based upon a true story.
Okay.
I am originally from the great city of Mount Bayou, Mississippi, and I did move to Montgomery. One of the things that I always think about whenever I move somewhere is to honor the place in which I live. And so that this is my way of honoring Montgomery, Alabama. And of course, it's not targeting all the women, but it is addressing some of them that are not often talked about.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Well, we encourage you to please check out Little Miss Linda, Bold and Determined Girls of Montgomery. And where's the best place to get this? Is it from the publisher or from you or Amazon, or where would you encourage people?
Obviously, they can get it on Amazon, but any online outlet that actually share that. Also, Ingram Spark. So there are many places in which they can get that.
All right, well, check that out. Hello, and we're here now with Kim Ligon. And Kim is from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which is actually where we're at right now. And she is the author of Landing on Her Feet, which was a finalist in our traditionally published fiction category. And so, Kim, tell us a little bit about the plot. What is the story about?
The story is about a single mother of a 5-year-old who is in danger from her child's biological father and has to leave the only home she's ever known and leave Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and go to live with the little small town where her grandparents were and where she spent a lot of time when she was growing up. And when she gets there, she meets a doctor who has a son, and he's a widower. And it's the story of how their relationship evolves and also what she has to do to keep her son from danger.
Yeah. So, I love this book, and I thought the suspense was so good and a sweet romance too. And you told me a little bit about the fact that this is set in Wisconsin, which is where you grew up. And so a lot of that is kind of based on your the atmosphere, at least the small town. But where did the idea come from? Because I know you write mostly romance suspense.
I wish I could say that one day I thought of something. I have a lot of times where my characters just kind of appear and I get an idea about doing something and it unfolds. I told somebody one time that all I do is type, that it's the rest of the things just kind of come together. So I have lived in Philadelphia too, and grew up in that small town, and it was fun to go and kind of recreate the way it was when I was growing up and what that world was like. So
awesome.
Nice.
Right. Well, we encourage you to go check out Landing on Her Feet by Kim Ligon. And is the best way to get that from Amazon, or do you have a website, or where would be the best place for them to get that?
Amazon is a great place to get it from, or Barnes & Noble. Actually, if you live in the Tuscaloosa area, they are stocking them at the Barnes & Noble here, which was wonderful. So,
great. Well, good. Well, check it out. And thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
All right. We're here with Karen Allen and Sharon Atwood, and they are the authors of the devotional book, Out of My Mind into His Heart, 60 devotionals for those with mental illness and their advocates. And this book was one of the finalists in our devotional category for the Notable Book Awards this year. So I'm curious, Sharon, just tell us a little bit about what this book is about. How is it set up?
Well, there's a devotion written from the person with mental health issues. That's me, and the things that I go through. And then there's a response devotion right after it from the advocate of the mental health person, which is Karen. And then she writes a devotion with biblical perspectives from each of those. And then following the set of devotions is questions for reflection and quotes that have to do with the devotions. And then there's, of course, some great color pages, adult color pages.
I love that idea. Yeah, because coloring is very right. It was relaxing. Yeah, it relaxes and it helps you focus on something else, right? Well, I think that is awesome. It's a really needed topic, I believe. And that comes from, I'm going to let you take the microphone. That comes really from y'all's friendship. Is that where the idea for the book came from?
It does. I mean, Sharon has taught me a lot about mental illness, and I have mentored her in many ways about just living life in a non-chaotic environment. But together, from our get-go with our friendship, we incorporated Christ. And we just felt that there was a real need to let people know the hope of Christ is is in your circumstance, in your situation, no matter how bad it can get. So Sharon wanted to be very vulnerable, transparent in her life, and she was willing to put her story out there. So we think it's a worthwhile story to read. It's not about just her; it's about you and how God can help you.
Awesome, that's great. And so check out that book from Amazon or Winged Publications. We are here now with Gary Hardin, who is one of the finalists in our devotional category for the Notable Book Awards this year. And he's the author of 40 Days of Spiritual Growth, Daily Devotions from the Farewell Words and Paul's Letters. So that kind of tells us a little bit about the concept here, but maybe you could tell us a little bit more about what this devotional book does.
Okay. In our church, we use D-Life groups
Yes.
for our discipleship, and
Right.
my wife and I host a group in our home on Sunday nights. And in D-Life, you read 5 chapters of the Bible every day.
Wow.
And when I was reading through the book of Colossians, I came to the final chapter and the ending verses. And I thought, wow, that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
And so I went back and I looked through all the ending verses and all of the Apostle Paul's 13 letters. And I said to myself, that's a book.
Yeah.
And his farewell words that he shared with the churches and with friends that he had done missions work with.
What do his farewell words teach us? And that's probably a big discussion there, but
his farewell words teach us, first of all, to live all out for Jesus, and also to live purposefully. And we do that when we allow Jesus to be the Lord in the center of our lives. We also learn from his farewell words the importance of appreciating those who serve with you. And Paul did that in a big way.
That, to me, it was just such an interesting concept. I thought I'd never seen anything with that before. I mean, obviously, you realize probably there was not a book out there that does the same thing either. But I think it's just such a unique approach. And it's 40 days. So it's a devotion every day and like a reflection for the readers.
Yes. And what I did was I grouped the devotions in the letters that Paul wrote in order. So Galatians was his first book, or first letter, we should say. And so at the beginning of each of the sections where a letter is introduced, I have one page that is a summary of that letter, when it was written, why it was written, and the purpose. And that helps people kind of know a little bit about why they're reading, what they're reading.
That's awesome. Well, it's a wonderful book, and we encourage you to get it. And I guess the best way to get it, can they get it from, do you have a website or get it online?
GaryHardinBooks.com.
Perfect.
And good old Amazon.
That's right. So go check it out. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Hello again. We are here with Susan Cleland and Sherye Green, and they are the authors of Mission Vigilant, A Mother's Crusade to Stem the Tide of Veteran Suicide. And we just recognize them as the winners of this year's SCWC Notable Book Awards in the category of self-published nonfiction. And so we're so pleased to talk with both of y'all for a minute. So Susan, tell me a little bit about where this book came from, this genesis of this book.
Well, it'll be 5 years this June. We lost our oldest son to veteran suicide. And I had been journaling for years, but that was my way of also helping me. Right. And so I met with Sherye and I said, Sherye, we have to get together and make this a book, because I did not know that 22 lives are lost a day.
Right.
So we worked a lot.
Yeah.
And she is just my very sweet, dear friend.
I love that.
And we just really worked well together.
Yeah. And so Sherye just helped you tell your story.
Yes.
I love that. That's great. So what are you trying to tell people in this book? Is it just to give them more information or to help people, other parents who are going through this?
Well, one thing, please don't give up hope.
Yeah.
Please ask for help. And to tell you that you will be able to be okay. Because as a mom, I know a lot of moms that are living this life.
Right.
And they're in a dark place.
Yeah.
You don't have to be.
Right. Sherye, maybe tell us a little bit about why you wanted to help with this the story, telling Susan's story. Let's let you hand her the
Well, Susan and I have been close friends for, I think, right around 20 years. And I knew Michael, her son, and I also have a son in the military. So this was very
personal
because of his connection, just know some of the military struggles, but just knew this was a great story to tell. And Susan was wonderful that access to her prayer journals gave me a lot of insight to her, but we just feel like there's a lot of hope through Christ that we can give, that she can give. So
right. Well, I would encourage all of you to check out this book. It's just wonderful. And again, it won our award. And so we're just so pleased to be able to recognize it. And so get your hands on it, Mission Vigilant. And what's the best way to get it? Do y'all have a website, or where would you recommend that people check it out?
We do have a nonprofit.
Okay.
It's missionvigilant.org.
Okay.
You can get it on Amazon.
Right. Awesome. Okay. We'll check it out. Thank y'all so much.